Hello, I make this video so that we can have a quick discussion on the quiz and the assignment, what are the correct answers. So let me begin first with the quiz. So let me first start by copying over the question. So here is the question. All right. So Alice and Bob choose a number in the interval 0 to 4. We assume uniform probability law. So that means both Alice and Bob choose a number uniformly between 0 and 4. So now the question is, there are several events, but we are interested in the P of B, which is at least one of the numbers is greater than 1/3. So to answer this question, we need to first draw the so whenever you have questions where you are picking two numbers uniformly at random, the best approach to do is you begin by drawing a figure of the problem at hand. Okay, so this is a good figure. So what we do is we denote on the x-axis whatever Alice picks, and on the y-axis we show whatever Bob picks. So this is for Bob. So this goes from 0 to 4, and this is also 0 to 4. So this is what it is. And now we try to see what are all the regions here. So for second question, like at least one of the numbers is greater than 1/3. So let me just copy this over for future questions. Okay, so for P of B, what you are saying is at least one of the numbers is greater than 1/3. So let me write this. P of B is equal to probability at least one number is greater than 1/3. Okay, so now what is P of B complement? The P of B complement is the probability that both numbers are less than 1/3. Okay, so that is a region we can easily draw. So how do we draw this? So you just draw a small square. This is 1/3. This is 1/3. So this region over here, okay, this is B complement. Okay, so what is probability of B complement? That is proportional to area of the shaded figure. Okay, now what is it that exactly equal to? That is equal to area of the shaded figure divided by total area. Total area is 4 square, right? So area of a square, 4 into 4 square. Okay, so what is area of the shaded figure? 1/9. 1/9 divided by 16, which is 1/144. Okay, so what is P of B? So P of B is 1 minus P of B complement, which is equal to 143/144. Okay, so if you see in the question, that is option 2. Now the question part 2 is asking what is the probability of C. So this was for the first. So let's look at the second part. So this, let me I think we need to copy both the question and the figure somewhere. Maybe I will just copy the question. Okay, so let's write the figure again. So you have this square, okay, and this time again the same x-axis is Alice and y-axis is Bob. Okay, so this is 0 to 4. All right, and the second question is asking P of C. All right, so P of C is both the numbers are equal. So that is essentially all the things that come in this line. Okay, so P of C is proportional to area of the line that you see. Now we know that area of a line in a two-dimensional figure is equal to 0. So we know this easily, that P of C is 0. All right, so this was question number 2. And the last question is, what is P of A intersection D? Okay, so let's look at P of A first. So the magnitude of the difference between the two numbers is greater than 1/3. So essentially what we are saying is the two numbers that we are having should not lie in this. Why is that? Let's try to understand. So this line is equal to Alice is equal to Bob. Okay, and this line here is saying Bob is equal to Alice plus 1/3. Okay, this line is Bob is equal to Alice minus 1/3. Okay, so beyond this region, Bob is picking a point which is greater than Alice plus 1/3. So this region here, okay, this, let me just shade it. This shaded region and this shaded region together is P of A. Okay, P of A is equal to, is proportional to area of the shaded region. Okay, now that is the first thing. And what is D? Okay, so D is easy. Alice is choosing a number greater than 1/3, so that we can easily draw. So that is this line over here. Okay, so all the points that happen here is Alice is chosen a point less than 1/3. Anything greater is greater than 1/3. So the area of A intersection D is going to be this. Sorry, it's I need to draw this a little properly, otherwise it will shade everything. So this area and this area. Okay, so the this is actually the blue area is P of A intersection D. Is proportional to area in blue. Okay, so now so if you want exactly P of A intersection D, you have to do the calculation. So it's equal to, like, so we have to give some values here. So let's call this as P Q R and this one as S T U. Okay, so P intersection P of A intersection D is area of triangle PQR plus area of triangle STU divided by 4 into 4, which is 16. All right, so what is area of triangle PQR? So that is half base into height. So so now we have to make some observation. So this is a square, even though the way I have drawn it doesn't look like a very clearly like a square, but you know that it's a square. So this angle is 45 degrees. Okay, when that is 45 degrees, this angle over here, this angle is also 45 degrees. So this angle is 90. So 45 degrees, this is also 45 degrees. So this is now isosceles triangle. This side is equal to this side. All right. So one of the sides we know how easy. So length PQ we know. So length PQ is actually 4 minus 1/3 over here and 1/3 over here. So 4 minus 2 by 3, which is equal to 10 by 3. Okay, so that's why we also know QB, length of QB is also 10 by 3. So now we know area of PQR. What is that? Area of, sorry, I should say here QR. Okay, so I said QB. The vertices are R, Q and P. Okay, anyway, so QR is 10 by 3 and both the sides are 10 by 3. So it is 10 by 3 square plus half. Okay, again now the same idea holds, but here the base and height are easy to tell. This is 4 minus 1 by 3. Okay, so I think I made 4 minus 2 by 3. Yeah, so this is 11 by 3. So when it is 4 minus 2 by 3, it is 10 by 3, but 4 minus 1 by 3, which is equal to ST, length of ST is 4 minus 1 by 3. So this is 11 by 3. All right. So the other area is this one. This whole thing we have to divide by 1 over 16. Okay. So divide or multiply by 1 over 16. Okay. So now let us do some quick calculation. So this is 100. Okay. So 50, or perhaps not to do. It's 100 by 18. Okay. This is 121 by 18. Okay. So this will be 1 over 16 into 221 by 18. Now 16 into 9 is 144. So 16 into 18 is 288. So this is 221 divided by 288. So this is the answer for the third one. Okay, so this is area of A intersection D. So that is not an option given, so none of the above is the correct answer. All right, so this is 1, 2, 3 of quiz. So let's do the next one. So in this question, we are asking to basically tell which of the options are correct for this Venn diagram. Okay, so let me just quickly discuss this. So also I will make some space so we can discuss this. All right. Okay, so we will paste this over here. All right, so let us just see which of the options work. Okay, so first thing is P of B minus A. So I will just copy this multiple number of times so that we can see which region we are talking about. So first let's try to see what is the region which is B minus A complement. So B minus A complement. So B minus A is what first we have to see. So from B I am removing all these things that are also in A. So B minus A is going to be this one, the shaded region over here. This is B minus A. So B minus A complement, if you see, that is precisely the correct region. So that is one of the answers. Okay, because B minus A is definitely, I'm sorry about that. So let's just B minus A is definitely correct. But see, there is an option which says all of the above. So we have to verify if indeed everything is there or not. So let's put one more figure for the other one. Okay, so here you see there is little bit you have to get comfortable with set theory business. So what you have is A union A intersection A complement intersection B complement. Okay, so we have to be, so there are many ways in which you can expand this, but the best way, or one of the easy ways, at least the way I would do, is to understand that you can write this as A union B complement. All right, so that I feel is a good way to do this. Fine. So because this is De Morgan's law, so when you take the like a set like this and complement it, it becomes intersection. Union becomes intersection and individual members become complement. Now this is a figure that we can easily analyze. So let me shade this region first. So this region is A union B complement. So that will be essentially all these chunks over here. A union B complement is all these chunks over here, right? It's everything which is not there in the union. Okay, so this is A union B complement, and if I now add A to it, so let me choose a slightly different color. So okay, one section we have missed out, that is this. And now if I add a to this, okay, so we get this whole figure, and that is precisely the shaded region. So now at least two options are correct. Now we can do the third one, but I will leave it to you to do. So for this, we can easily see that even the third one also holds. So all of the this one is the correct answer. All right. So this was for question number 4. Let's do the last one. Okay, so the last one is like this. So there are 3 statements. I don't know, while I copied, something happened here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We are asking which of the following statements are true. So let's examine each statement. Okay, so the first statement is a bit tricky, so we will come back to first statement later. Okay, so now let's start with the second statement. So E is a subset of F. Okay, so what that means is you have a Venn diagram like this. You have F and then you have some E. E is a subset of F. Now the question is P of F equal to P of F given E? Okay, so we have also told you that P of F is less than 1, that we have given. Now we look at P of F given E. See, now if I am telling you that the event E has happened, what can you say about F? Since E is a subset of F, we can say intuitively that this is equal to 1. Okay, if you want to see this formally, you can write the definition, which is P of E intersection F divided by P of E. What is P of E intersection F? So that is nothing but P of E. So P of E divided by P of E. See, we have also told you P of A is strictly greater than 0. So this division is all right. So this is also equal to 1. All right. So P of F is less than 1. P of F given E is equal to 1. So obviously this statement is false. Okay. So now 2 is false. Now what about 3? So let's look at 3. So for 3, we are given that C and D are mutually exclusive. So let's draw that. You have some region C, you have given some region D. C and D are mutually exclusive. Okay, so it's very clear that if C happens, D doesn't happen, right? Mutually exclusive means that if C happens, D doesn't happen. So what is the probability that C happens given that D happens? So obviously if D happens, you cannot have C. So this is going to be 0. Okay. If you want to see this formally using the formula, you know that P of C intersection D is P of C P of C given D is P of C intersection D divided by P of D. Now what is the region common between C and D? That is, there is no region. So this is P of empty set divided by P of D. So that is equal to 0. Okay. So P of C intersection D is equal to 0. We are also told that okay, so yeah, so P that is given to equal to 0, and since it's all the questions are such that we are saying that P of C is greater than 0. Okay, so yeah, this is not mentioned as part of the problem, but in general, whenever you are saying mutually exclusive, we are considering interesting sets which are not empty. All right, so P of C is greater than 0, but whereas P of C intersection is equal to 0, so that is why it is they are not if they were independent, this would have been equal. Since they are not equal, they are not independent. In fact, you should understand that mutually exclusive is as dependent as it can actually happen, because it is telling you very much lot of information is being conveyed. All right, so both statements 2 and 3 are false. Okay, now the statement that is true is actually statement 1. Okay, so this we will show now. Statement 1 is actually true. So let's do that. So what's the statement saying? Let's see. Let me just copy that over. Okay, so P of B is less than P of B given A. So that is what the statement is saying. So let us see what that means if we write it in terms of the math. So P of B is less than P of B intersection A divided by P of A. Okay. So now this is what is given. Now what we will do is we will use like we want P of A given B somewhere. So let's write in a way so that we get that. So this is P of A into P of, so sorry, P of B into okay, maybe that's not necessary. What we do is we just do a simple switch. So from this implies that P of A is actually less than P of B intersection A divided by P of B. Okay, so now we are done. So this is left hand side is P of A, which implies that P of A is less than P of A given B. So that's it. So it's just a simple rearrangement. All you are doing is you are taking the denominator and interchanging. All right, so this proves that the first statement is actually true. All right, so we are done with this. Let me just continue for the assignment problems in the next lecture, next video. Thanks.